So you've probably heard it before, walking is underrated. There are so many benefits to it, but is there something more we can do to make walking more effective? That's been a question that's on my mind and a question I'm going to be answering in today's video. So if you're new here, my name is Rachel. Each week I put together random low production videos on the things that are legit helping me. So with that, if you find that resonates with you, would love for you to subscribe. And if you don't, just hurts my feelings a little bit, but we'll get through it. If you find yourself as somebody who's trying to get in, say, 10,000 steps a day, great, you got in 10,000 steps, but what are the little things you can do and implement to make the quality of those steps better and make the results you're working towards even better? So first, if you're not intentional about walking briskly, please try that ASAP. Not only do you get more steps in, but also you find it improves your heart rate, you burn more calories, burn more fat, get more results out of it. I find that there's a kind of different approach I take when I'm on a treadmill versus walking outside. In many ways, I find that walking on the treadmill for me can be more effective, but walking outside is more enjoyable. When I walk on a treadmill, I can set my pace and challenge myself more. And because I do have a clock I'm watching, I'm able to kind of play mind games with myself. So on the treadmill, I typically walk at a 4 pace. I don't add incline because I used to do incline a lot and it sounds crazy, but I feel like it makes my calves bigger. That's the honest truth why I don't really add incline. I find I get great results just walking flat. Anyhow, I do that, and then every 5 minutes I will switch my arms from swinging like this to swinging more straight. Swinging like this 5 minutes, like this. And it makes the time go faster when I have these kind of fun mind games going on. But one of the things I'm gonna start doing is I've just purchased these hand weights that you can wear as basically bracelets. I will link them below. They're 1 pound each. There's also like a 2 pound version you can get. But I figure that will just only help me get these sleek toned arms that I'm working towards. Tightening your core. If you're not tightening your core while you walk, you are missing out. Please do. Tighten your core. It's just kind of cinching it in, not just clenching it, but like pulling it in a little bit really makes a big difference. On that note, I'm going to shift gears onto some specific types of techniques I've learned from the woman T-Tapp. She has a workout series called T-Tapp. You can find much of her videos on YouTube. Unfortunately, a few years ago, she did suddenly pass away, but she still has a huge following. This workout is like your old school aerobics workout, but it's centered around lymphatic drainage. Lymphatic drainage is something that's really been taking off in the past few years now, but this woman's been talking about it since the 90s. So you should certainly check her out, especially if you're somebody who's really into these kind of low impact workouts. There's also YouTubers now that are continuing her work. I will link them below. Again, they're all on YouTube. She has a stepping workout routine where she gives tips around your walking form and getting greater results from it. So these are where those tips are from. First of all, one of the tips Teresa has is as you walk to stand up straight and act as if a string is pulling you up. Great posture does great things for all of us. So that and whether it improves walking or not is going to be of benefit. Another thing she says as it relates to posture is to shift your pelvis forward, so to pull your butt in. And by doing that, you'll find, especially when you're tightening your core engages further, and then you find these other muscles in your body are engaged as well, with just that subtle shift of tilting your pelvis forward. She also has techniques around when you are walking, you can bring your palms forward as your arms rotate back and forth, and it's a way to engage your back muscles and improve your posture as well. Another interesting tip she has is when you're walking to be aware of your feet pointing straight. Teresa talks about how when your feet are pointed out, it actually adds to saddlebags. I don't know how true that is, but you want to be aware of your form. A lot of people do have a certain walking form where their feet are pointed out or maybe even in. So you want to make sure they're straight. This is an interesting tip that she has, and one that I try to do, but I'm not fanatical about, is that when you are walking, to lift up your big toe so that you're shifting your weight towards the outside of your feet and also back. And this also helps you to engage muscles that you wouldn't otherwise. Now, I'm going to link some channels that train to Teresa Tapp's method, and they go into much more detail. But if I can at the very least introduce you to these new ideas around how you can improve the effectiveness of your walking, that's exactly what my intention is. So feet pointing straight, focus on what your toes are doing, shifting back instead of shifting forward is a way to, again, engage additional muscles that you wouldn't otherwise. I will link videos that go into more detail on this. And then when it comes to swinging your arms, if you can have your palms facing forward, that's another great way to improve your posture and engage your back and arm muscles. So as somebody who's trying to improve my arm physique, I'm very excited to hear about those tips and implement them, along with walking briskly, tightening my core, and including hand weights that I can wear as bracelets. So those are tips around walking form, but I also want to sprinkle in opportunities for you to fit in walks. Opportunities that maybe you haven't realized before. As of lately, I've been traveling and I've had many flight delays. And when I am delayed, I find that as an opportunity for me to get a bunch of steps in. The other weekend, I was at the airport for hours and I challenged myself to get as many steps in as I could. And I was then able to go to a Delta lounge and take a shower. And I felt like $1,000,000 because it was not only a great workout because I got my steps in, but because I was tightening my core, because I was being aware of my form, and because I was carrying along my luggage and switching sides to kind of balance it out. But it turned a situation where I would otherwise be really upset and frustrated and probably be eating my feelings at the airport. And instead, I ended up being proud of myself and having this huge accomplishment of fitting in 20,000 steps at the airport. Now, as I was walking in the airport, I was curious about how accurate are my steps on my Apple Watch, given I'm lugging around my luggage and I'm not swinging my arm, as that's often the way that this picks up your steps. And it is reassuring to know that your phone also picks up your steps too. Many phones, at least the iPhone at least, has a health app that tracks your steps. So whether you have an Apple Watch or Fitbit or not, if you have your phone in your pocket, it will help track your steps too. Another thing I've been doing a lot lately that has been new and has been a great way to get more steps in is organizing time to see my friends over a walk. So I have one really good friend in particular, and at least once a week, her and I will wake up extra early, we'll go on a walk together, we catch up, we get our steps in, we feel great, and it's free. It's free and we get to connect, and it's really great quality time. I've been really loving that a lot lately. I've also been finding that, especially after a stressful work day, to unplug, going on a nice walk has been really restorative over, say, opening a bottle of wine or just retiring on the couch and watching mindless TV. Getting steps in has been a great way to de-stress and unplug, and then also it really enhances the quality of my sleep. So as I look to implement things in my life that not only improve the quality of my life, but help me feel good, walking is the cornerstone of that. And finding creative ways to make walking more effective makes it something that keeps it fresh and exciting, because it's just a fun way to experiment, but also to see how the effectiveness of walking can be enhanced. So that's why I was so excited to compile this video and share it with you. And if you have tips for making walking more effective, we would love to hear, because that is the goal of this channel, or the comments. So with that, I thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.